here interviewing another targeted individual, and she's here to tell you her story, along with so many others rolled in one. So it's like a lot of the people I'm going to be interviewing are targeted individuals, and we are illegally watch list. And what I mean by, I'm going to let you tell it. Matter of fact, go ahead, introduce yourself.
I'm Sheree Dramus. I am a targeted individual, and I was targeted by a CPS worker named Kayla Ellis, and I started off in St. Mary's, Idaho. But
repeat her name again. Repeat her name again, because the world need to know this evil.
Kayla Ellis.
Kayla Ellis. Okay.
Yeah.
And which state?
In Idaho. Northern Idaho. Last time I knew she worked in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
Okay, so go ahead and tell me your story. Tell me your life before and after you became illegally watch listed by the United States government.
Well, I had a really good life. Just like a normal life. I was married and had kids and stuff, and me and my ex-husband separated because he was cheating on me. And so we were separated, and that's when I met my youngest daughter's dad, and that's how I met the CPS worker who would eventually targeted me. It just, everything started snowballing for my divorce, but I knew he wasn't capable of doing it. He's not very smart. So, so I knew who targeted me because in November 2012, they staged that my daughter escaped when 3 doors down, a neighbor came in and snatched her, and he wouldn't give her back to my daughter. This is how my targeting started beginning. So he wouldn't bring me back my daughter, so I called the cops, and I said, I want to press kidnapping charges on him. He has the right to not give me back my kid. And the cop talked me out of it, and the next day the evil witch came to my door.
Wait a minute. So now, a neighbor of yours or your ex-husband was the one who snatched your daughter?
It was a neighbor.
It was a neighbor.
Yes.
High school boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! And go on, and you called to file a police report?
I didn't file a police report because the cops talked me out of it. That was the biggest mistake, because I honestly, if I had done that, I probably would have never even been a TI. You know? But so I didn't do it.
I'm sorry for cutting you off, but so this boy, this 18-year-old, either young adult male, was he someone who was prominent to the community? Like, was his family somebody?
No, I lived in a really small town. I never even heard of him. I never even seen him before.
I asked that because the cop of that town asked you to stand down when something so critical. So it's like, in my mind, if I was a prosecutor or something, I would assume that cop and that kid parents or someone down the line had some relations, or his parents was somebody in the town, being as though you didn't know them don't make them not somebody in the town.
You know what, Tone? You could be very well right about that, because it wasn't like I was well known. I came from Reno, Nevada. I had only lived up there for 12 years. I wasn't born and raised there. So, and I always kept to myself. I didn't have a whole lot of friends around me, you know me? I mean, so I didn't really hang out with a whole lot of people. So, I mean, that could be, I just didn't know. I mean, it could be a possibility. I just, don't know 100% because I kept to myself a whole lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because to me it wouldn't make sense for that cop not to take special interest in something like that if he didn't have nothing to gain or someone to protect. You understand? So it may have been something going on in the background that you didn't know about and you weren't aware of because you wasn't actual citizen, sort of say, or native to that town and native to that state.
Yeah.
So, but go on. What happened after you figured out what was going on and after he talked you out?
Well, what was going on? I want to put this in because the reason I felt she was kidnapped because a 2-year-old doesn't grab, because she just got out of the bath. I stuck her downstairs with her towel wrapped around her and went upstairs to grab her clothes. I came back downstairs to get her dressed and she was gone. And they took her with her towel and shut the door. And I'm like, a 2-year-old doesn't shut the door when they escape, and they don't grab their towel when they escaped. And when he gave me back my daughter, he was like, I gave her that towel, by the way. And when I came back, I didn't see no towel on the floor. This is the very first mind fuck thing that happened, with my targeting. Because they said they gave me a towel, but I didn't see the towel I had for it, and it looked just like the one she had. So,
gaslighting.
That was odd. But the next day, Kayla Ellis came to my door, and she goes, "You have to take a drug test, huh?"
No, you going.
Okay, and then Kayla Ellis comes to the door. And I let her in because, I had nothing to hide. I didn't know. I should have, if I knew.
I'm losing
what I knew today, I would have slammed that door in her face and said, get it. Huh?
Not you. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Khalil. Yeah. Go ahead. Continue. I'm sorry. Stepson.
Oh, okay. So she comes.
Go ahead.
So she comes in and she goes, Cherie, what are you going to do to prevent your daughter from escaping? And I'm thinking, this is a little asinine to have CPS at my door over my daughter escaping. I thought that was a little weird. And then she told me I had to take a drug test, and if I failed, she was going to take all my kids away. But of course, I wasn't doing drugs, so I went and took the fucking P test and passed. So none of my kids were taken, but I was scared shitless, and I decided to move to a different county, a whole different county. So I didn't have to deal with the CPS bitch, right? This bitch follows me in that county. She had her eyes set on me, and she wasn't going to stop. So what happened there is this county, she works at this county now since I'm over there, you know what I mean? So what happens, I'm trying to remember, it's so much. Okay, what happens after that is I move away, and my daughter hurts my youngest daughter's foot, and I take my oldest daughter to the hospital and leave my daughter with my two sons that were 8 and 11 at the time. And I didn't know the laws about that, but in Idaho, if siblings are allowed to watch, there's no law in place with that. There's no age limit. It's over a parent's discretion, and my oldest son was very mature for his age, so he was very capable of watching her for why I took my youngest daughter to the emergency room. But when we got back, there was cops everywhere. They said my daughter escaped again, which I do not believe. She didn't escape the first time, and I believe it was all staged, and this would lead up with my kids being taken away. Well, my kids lead up getting taken away. She hires this one perp to eventually he gets me to shoot up drugs. So led me not to have good choices.
Well, yeah, I understand you. I can believe you being completely honest.
To get me to do drugs.
They messing with the lab.
Yeah, well, they give you. That wasn't like it took him a day to talk me into it. It took him like a month to talk me into it, you know? Every groups are very persistent at times, you know? Sometimes you just do things that are stupid that you shouldn't
I
do.
understand. We all make mistakes. I understand. I mean, that's part of being human. That's part of being human. No man or woman on God's green earth is perfect. God himself wasn't perfect. He made the devil.
But anyway, I fought for the girls back and got my girls back in 2014. They were gone for 8 months, I think. 8 or 9 months. It was something like that. They were gone. And I had them for only 2 years. And I moved to a different county so I wouldn't have to deal with her again. So this is the third county, a different county that I moved to get the fuck away from her.
Don't tell me she was the CPS.
Yes, she did. She went to that county too.
You got a paper trail of this?
All you have to do is show her a job with CPS where she was working, where I was living, to show up what I'm saying is consistent.
Yeah, so do you have a paper trail of this though? Like case?
I don't have a, you know what? CPS won't even give me, the second time they took my girls away, they won't even give me the paperwork. They refuse to give it to me because I think there's some good information in there. I'm still trying to work on getting that. But another thing was, she took all 4 of my kids away and gave custody to my ex-husband, which my ex-husband is involved in my targeting, by the way, because that's what he was promised, that he would get full custody of the boys and he wouldn't have to pay child support no more. So that's what he got while he was part of my targeting. But anyway, when she took all 4 of my kids away, you know what this bitch had the audacity to tell me?
What is that?
Cherie, don't you think you're being a little too emotional about this? I can't believe it. She just took all 4 of my kids away, and I can't believe what this bitch said. But yes, yeah, it wouldn't be that hard to grab that consistent paper trail. I mean, it's not that hard. I mean, I don't know how to grab it, but I guess I got to do some detective work. It will show that she followed me in each county.
Yeah,
and one time she was stalking me at the fucking river. Every time I went to the river, she would be stalking me. I'm like, why is she here? Why is she staring at me? I thought, all this stuff was like bizarre, what she was. But eventually the big targeting would start happening in March of 2016. And she took my girls away, and oh my God, hell broke loose. I couldn't even concentrate on seeing my girls. I couldn't even concentrate on fighting for my girls. I couldn't concentrate on nothing because I was in survival mode all the time. I thought they were gonna kill me. I mean, they gave me in April 2016, they gave me a forced miscarriage where I lost 3 pints of blood and I had to have a blood transfusion and surgery. And I remember when that bitch came in after I was laying in the puddle of blood all night, still being harassed. I even asked these motherfuckers while I was laying in the puddle of blood, I'm like, can you just leave me alone for 5 minutes? Just give me a 5-minute break, then you guys could harass me the whole night. Just give me 5 minutes with me and what I just lost. But they couldn't do that. No, they couldn't do something like that. That they have to be the most evilest things on the earth, to accomplish anything. But anyway, the next morning, Kayla Ellis comes to my door and she goes, why weren't you in court today? I can't even fucking walk. I can't even move. And she goes, why haven't you cleaned up all this blood yet, Cherie? I was like, is this bitch really insulting me? And then she was trying, and then she flipped a switch, and then she was trying to be nice and, we should call the ambulance and stuff. So the ambulance came, and I was like, I don't want to go. What if they kick me out of the hospital? I can't walk home. So, I didn't go, but the next day I tried because this motherfucker, during that time of that miscarriage, he said he was going to go give me me something to drink off my food stamp card, and the motherfucker steals the whole thing. He never comes back and give me a drink or nothing. He stole all my food stamps that day. So I went down there. I was gonna try to stop that motherfucker from using them because they said my social security, because they rerouted my call. So the health and welfare call, they rerouted it and said my social security number was wrong. So I went to go stop him, and I collapsed on the side of the road. But how ironic! The CPS lady, Kayla Ellis, was there to rescue me. But instead, I told her what I was doing. She said, "Oh, why don't you go to the hospital instead?" But now she's caring, right? So she takes me to the emergency room, and she keeps talking to my doctor, my OBYGN, and I have no idea she's trying to get me in a mental institution until 2 days after I get out of the hospital after my surgery and my blood transfusion. She goes, "Oh, you're not in the mental hospital?" I'm like, "No." And I was like, "Why would I be there?" And she goes, "Oh, no, nothing. So this is what happened, and it's a long story, you know. I mean, I'm just telling you about Kayla Ellis. You know, I got a lot of perps that done.
Okay, so that's an issue that you still have going on right now with the whole Kayla Ellis and the CPS rights to your kids thing going on right now.
No, that happened in 2016. Right now I'm just dealing with a lot of social security fraud happening. They keep lying, taking half my money away, saying I owe this much in child support, which is a lie, because child support's not involved in my targeting. So they've been telling me the truth, and they've been giving me all the paperwork. I've had to report social security.
They messing with the camera. They messing with the feed.
3 times to the OIG. They're messing with the feed?
Yeah, they messing up. It's lagging. They messing with it. I already know what time it is. I didn't quite catch all that you just said, but you can repeat yourself. But after you finish answering this, I want you to answer me. Let me know, when did you know that your targeting went from covert to overt? Yeah.
Oh, covert from overt? Yeah. Well, you know,
in the middle of the interview. Yeah.
You know, that one's a really hard baited me in. I think it's always been overt. I mean, they do it in a covert way outside, but it's always been in the open. But it's always been behind closed doors too, so it's been the same.
Okay, no, but what I'm saying is, when did you notice that you was actually being gang stalked?
I don't know. I can't. Well, in 2016, I noticed it really bad. I went from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, to Spokane, Washington, to escape it, to Salem, Oregon, to escape it, and to Reno, Nevada, to escape it, all the way to Des Moines, Iowa, to escape it. And that's when I said, you know what, I need to figure this out, because this is happening any state I go. I can't run from it.
And what was that? What was that you're saying was following you from each state? Was it the lady Kelly, or was it certain events that made you look at like why is like, what the fuck is going on with the world? Like,
yeah. Well, you know, when you see people claiming on Burger King, and you're like, what the fuck is this? I mean, I've seen that shit. I mean, I'm like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
I call them planned events. They just plan these events that they do this shit, you know?
So tell me some signs. Tell me some signs other than that what led you to know that you were actually a targeted individual. Like, I mean, if you know the program, then you know the program. It's not something that I have to say, like, what could you say that, like, actually led you to believe 100% sure, without a shadow of a doubt, that you were a targeted individual, besides things just not going well with you in life? Like, what really led you to this? What did you do to realize? And
it's people breaking into my house, pretending not to be there, is one, they constant, like, when I confront some of these people, two, they gaslighting me. For three, them constantly trying to bait me in and set me up. And four, like, they would just do, like, random things. Like, if I was in the room, they would turn on, it would sound like water, but I think it was VTK. I'm not very sure, but I used to chase these sounds up and down my fucking apartment because I could hear water in the bathroom going, in the kitchen going. But when I walked out, no one was there. I'm pretty sure that was VTK. Also, they didn't start giving me the DEW weapons until after I found out it was a TI.
And by DEW weapons, direct energy weapons, the microwave weapons.
Yeah.
Okay.
They started giving that to me as soon as I figured out as a TI. I don't know if they give it to people before they figure it out.
No, that's a valid point that you raised because, to be honest, mad attacks like that with direct energy weapons and radio frequencies didn't start until I realized that was actually being gang stalked from me, officers, from me seeing the certain cops following me from one side of town to the next side of town, and from that side of town to another side of town. And when I notice these things, I get on my phone because in the city that I was selling weed. So when when you're in the streets, though, your main thing is to be aware of your surroundings. So I was one of those people who was real in touch with my surroundings and my being intuitive or whatever or whatnot. So I'm noticing things not right. I'm just noticing things not right, and it seemed like these cars is following me. So what I started doing before I actually thought that it was actually happening, I'll pull out my phone and act like I'm on the phone having a conversation, but the entire time I'm recording. So I sit on one phone for about 40 minutes, I'll get on another phone for about another 30 minutes to an hour, and when I get home, I'll go over my footage. And that's when I realized that this same car and truck was behind me for over an hour and a half. Every part of town I went over, this car was there, this truck was there. I go to the next, this car was there, this truck was there. And I got the video, I still got the video proof to prove that or whatever or whatnot. But yeah, I do agree with you then. When I found out that I was a targeted individual, my attacks became overt. Yeah, they messing with the lab bad. Ooh.
Yeah, Tone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Right before I found out I was a TI, I had a cop stalking me for like 2 hours because I was walking like 3 miles. And that motherfucker was just, I'm like, what is this? I kept asking myself, like, because they would like drive past me and try to hit me, or the cops would like stalk me. And I'm like, what is this shit? I've never seen nothing crazy in my life.
So, you said this has been going on with you for about 4 years. Who have you contacted to try to get this whole matter resolved and to find actual answers? And what did they tell you, and where did it lead you?
Well, first of all, I've gone to, hold on, because I came outside to smoke, so the gang stalkers come out, watch me. Hold on.
Don't be afraid to put them on the camera, because I know how to spot them. I know their methods. I know their colors they like to wear.
I don't think they're gonna come on with my phone on. They leave me alone a lot more because I start recording them.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
okay.
I've gotten, like I said, I've done the ACLU. Oh, sorry. I have contacted the UN with my reports. I made an affidavit with Catherine Horton. I made an affidavit with Targeted Justice. So I got 2 affidavits. And I think everyone's contacted the FBI, right? That's
yep. Me included.
I also made a report to DHS.
Yep. Me included. I still got the email from them.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, they told me me the same thing as ACLU, but yeah, I've contacted them too.
DHS actually told me that my concerns reached above their jurisdiction.
That's what they said to me.
Yeah, that it reached above their jurisdiction.
Mm-hmm.
So that's led me to contact. I contacted the
DHS is the main component in our stalking.
I think it probably got more to do with the FBI, being that the FBI was the actual people who came out with COINTELPRO.
Yeah.
COINTELPRO was actually started by J. Edgar Hoover in 1956 or 1976, 76, I believe.
I also wrote to John Tinga. I think that's how you say his name, John Tinga. He was the FBI judge that ruled the Patriot Act was unconstitutional.
Yeah, that was in 2018 in December.
Oh no, he said that in September 2019 because I hurried up and wrote my letter to him.
Yeah, but that was the judge, in fact, who just told the FBI that watch list was illegal and unconstitutional. He told them that they broke many laws.
Yep.
And no one went to jail behind that, though. The judge.
It's gonna take some work to unravel this fucking corruption. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's true. But when you have a federal judge come out not even a year ago and say that the FBI, that's the tricky thing about the government, because don't nobody know who the government is. We just know the name, the government, but we can't put a face on the government. So when we have a federal judge telling the FBI that watch list and that terrorist list was bullshit and y'all broke many laws, look, no one went to jail.
We got a game stalker right there. Watching me. But anyway, what else have I done? Oh my gosh, boy, I've done so much. Oh, I've also made complaints to the about the police department to the Internal Affairs and Attorney General. Huh?
I've been there too. When you did each one of those steps and you took each one of those measures to try to help you in your targeting, did you find your attacks getting worse? Because every time I filed a complaint like that, my attacks got crazy.
Yeah, they attack me, but I just don't care. I still do it. I mean, they're gonna have to kill me.
Yeah, that's for them.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I'm lucky. I'm more lucky than most TIs because the dude doesn't hurt me as bad as most of you guys.
Yeah, once you get hit with it so much.
Yeah. They attacked me pretty good for 48 hours once.
Oh.
Now they just like to hit me here and there. Like yesterday, they hit me in my foot. The other day, they were hitting me in my back again. But they only hit me here and there. They don't do that 48-hour shit to me no more.
I don't know if you see me keep grabbing my chest like this in the camera, but they keep on hitting me right now. They giving me the heart palpitations. My heart muscle keep on contracting, jumping and stuff like that. Heart skipping the beat.
They tried to get me in an induced heart attack one time. I felt lightheaded and shit. You know what? One they give me the most of is the nauseous one, where they make me feel sick. Like I'll eat something. They try to make me convince me that my food's poison, but I know it's the dew weapon. So I still eat out anywhere I go, so they don't do it to me as much because I figured it out. I figured it out that it was the dew weapon. I was like, because there's not really, these people aren't that powerful, you know. They're not gonna get inside each restaurant and poison you. It's just not gonna happen.
That's true.
So I was like, you know, they try to get you to think that way though, but I know better because they were attacking my stomach every time I ate, and I figured it out. So
now, what are some of the side effects next to what you just said with the stomach? Like, describe how these microwave weapons feel, specifically the direct energy weapons, just so the people get an idea.
Well, for me, I have really bad anxiety from because remote neural monitoring is actually a dew weapon too in itself. And I have really bad anxiety. I have I have nauseous problems. I throw up a lot. I try not to, but I do. I get nauseous very easy. And so I get sick, and I get frequent headaches.
That's some radio frequencies right there.
Yeah, I mean, these headaches are no joke. You know, the other day they were hitting my bed with the dew.
Was it vibrating? Was it doing the shaking thing?
Yeah, they're shaking my bed.
I remember they made that whole video. I got the video footage of them making around the apartment complex where I was just living at. I got the actual video footage where the whole living room floor was shaking, and how you could tell it's shaking because my water bottle at the time I was drinking, I was sitting on the floor. When you get up and move and you're across the other side of the room, but you zoom in, you can see the water in the water bottle with a ripple effect, like someone dropped a rock in a pond or some shit, and you know how it goes out with the rain, ripple effect. It was going crazy. I had my whole calf muscles feeling weird as hell.
Because the weapons are not powerful.
It depends on how much
These people are idiots.
No, they ain't idiots. These motherfuckers are some evil Frankenstein scientists. But they really not, though. The way they do what they do. They some bitches, I say that. But Firewise is dumb. Not with this technology they using on us, man. I don't.
Can I have an orange?
Go ahead, get one. Make sure it's not spoiled. That technology, it won't easy to create. And whoever, they picked right up out of Nikola Tesla playbook, man. Them weapons is... If people really knew how that shit feel, like the average Joe who don't go through this targeted individual thing, bro, I wouldn't wish it on nobody. Like this shit, with these weapons they have, they literally control your whole body and could remotely attack you from the parking lot of your house or wherever you at in the grocery store. Like, I was trying to tell people how they fill up your house with electricity and use the electromagnetic field to actually copy your brainwave patterns, and they call that a remote EEG. So it's like if you go in the hospital and you get slid into the CAT scan and you got to go through that machine and wear that copper vest, they actually have a way to scan your brainwave activity remotely from sitting in your house and by filling your house up with electricity. This shit is weird, bro, what they got going on. It's weird.
That's how they read your thoughts. But yeah, some of my targeting story I have to leave out because it sounds too fucking nuts. Even for a TI to understand.
We're gonna keep this rated R, not yeah, I got some stories I don't even want to talk about neither with this.
Because I mean, motherfuckers too.
The program ain't friendly though.
When they were pretending not to be there.
Yeah. So now, if you had a chance to like warn another TI about the program before they realize they're a TI and you see the signs there, what would you tell them as a TI? Or what would you tell the people who's not a TI? How about that? What do you want to tell them about this program?
Oh, I've already told quite a few about the government personal targeting because it sounds too fucking nuts. What I can prove and what they're doing to us. That's where they keep it to because any person to comprehend. So you just get like bits and pieces of it, and they will in your personal targeting. That's what I noticed. And
that's true. Do you? I'm sorry to cut you off.
I get believed a lot more by sticking to that principle.
Do you know it took me when I realized what was going on? Do you know when?
Oh yeah, and
go ahead. They lagging the lag.
When what?
Go ahead. What you were saying. I finished saying what I was saying after you finished.
Okay. Oh, it took me years to figure it out. I figured out in April 2019, and I was heavily targeted. But
you was 3 years in then.
Computers and phones a lot.
Huh? I said, I said, yeah, you were 3 years in then. Because it started in 2016,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, it took me a lot of years to figure it out because they forced me into homelessness. I almost had it figured out in 3 months. But then they slowed down on it and did like different tactics, like trying to get me to steal shit and just stupid shit like that. They'd slow down on it. They still harassed me, but it wasn't as bad. They would like just do stupid things. So they kind of slowed down.
If you're gonna die,
Man.
They did not want me to find out. They were finding out.
Well, it's like to me, how I look at it is once they see that you catch on, it goes from being covert to overt only with you though. Like you're the only one who know what's going on, but they're making sure that you are aware with getting behind us, especially if we're driving at night, flashing us with the high beams, then that car zoom past us, then the next car pull up, flash us with the high beams, then the one headlight, like what the fuck is going on? Why the fuck is these cars doing this though? So it had me to the point where I was flashing my light at cars too, like what the fuck is y'all doing?
You know, I have pictures.
They messing with the live so bad.
I have pictures of me and T3 at my apartment.
Of you who? They messing with the live bad. They're hating.
I was talking.
Yeah, they messing with the live. They got it lagging now. They going to town on it.
Yeah, they did that to me. They've been lagging on my YouTube videos because they don't want me showing my proof or my evidence, because that's what they always say. You don't have enough evidence. But you know what they say now? You only have a little bit of evidence, Sheree. You don't. I was like, oh, you guys went from me having something like that. That means they're scared. They're fucking scared of what I got. Yeah, they really want me so bad. They even asked my boyfriend, because he's a TI, and they asked him, you could have a house in the mountains if you take her down. They want him to turn. There he is.
It's hard for me to do that, to be honest. When I started making my YouTube videos addressing what I was going through and things like that, I actually still got the proof of it. Some guy named Agent Smith got on one of my YouTube videos, and he asked me specifically to go after these two big, targeted individuals in the TI community who's real big. One of them have 67,000 subscribers. Another one have probably 2,000 subscribers. And Agent Smith commented on one of my videos and was like, well, we'll pay you such and such if you go after this person and that person. Actually, it was New Breed and 703 VA all day. They wanted me to, I still got the message. They wanted me to go after those two targeted individuals on YouTube. Some guy named Agent Smith. I'm pretty sure that's not his real name, but that's how it really is. I couldn't imagine doing something like this to somebody though. Not what I endure, what I go through on a day-to-day basis. I'd rather take this right now, this punishment, than allow anybody I know and love to endure what I endure on a day-to-day basis. I'd rather be the one to go through it.
It ain't punishment. You're wrong.
What he said? Why he said?
He said it's not a punishment. You didn't do nothing wrong.
Yeah, shit. Feel like a punishment. Tell them that. Tell them that. They ain't get the memo, Wayne. For real. This shit is weird.
He said you don't deserve this.
No, none of us do. No, hey, look, no man, woman, or child, or animal for that matter. I'm going to even lower it down to the lowest vibrational thing on this earth. An insect do not deserve to go through what we endure on a day-to-day basis. Torture, slow murder, radio frequencies, EMF, V2K. That's inhumane. Khalil, come open the door. I'm sorry.
Who's this?
Open the door. Yeah, but like I said, I don't believe nobody exists. I couldn't imagine. That's why I said when it started happening to me and I started recording and Googling the symptoms, it led me straight to gang stalking. Kevin, his name on YouTube is Targeted Individual. He in some of the groups we in. His profile pic, he got the glasses, white boy Kevin. Him and Young Steel, Young Lion of Judah was the first two gang stalking videos I discovered on YouTube after me Googling what I was going through. They really showing off with they really showing off. But yeah, they
hung up on us.
They was the two first targeted individuals whose videos I discovered on YouTube. And as I'm comparing what I'm seeing in my everyday life with what they recording and they going out and saying this and that, I could watch their videos on mute and see the exact same comparison in my videos as I did in theirs. That's how I knew it was official. At that moment, like I said, once I discovered it, once I discovered that it was gang stalking, it got crazy. 2:30 in the morning, I'm sitting in the living room playing the game at the apartment complex we used to, and a truck pull up in front of our patio, and it just keep revving the engine. Boom, boom, boom. And this goes on for like 5 minutes. I'm still playing the game. After it turned to like 5 minutes, I finally get up and look out the patio. They right in front of my patio, and they cut their headlights off, and they just start shrieking up and down the parking lot. Ever since then, I realized that they was getting me sanitized to that noise, so I know that they're around. Ever since then, for the last 8 months, I heard that sound all day, every day. In front of my house here, in front of my apartment, that's all I hear. All day, every day, no matter where I go. No matter where I go, they make sure. Do you get the aircraft harassments? The small private planes and the helicopters flying over? Do you get that?
Yeah, I had it all. The only thing I haven't had was the color convoy, and it's probably because I run to these people. Me?
What? The color convoy.
I can't hear you, hon.
That's because they messing with the live.
Yeah.
They messing with the live.
Yeah, the color. So they don't. I mean, I'm not a person that's easily sensitized. They sensitized me one time for 3 weeks over headphones, and that was it. I got over it pretty fast because I'm not a person that gets easily sensitized to things. You know, because it sounds like ridiculous what they're doing. Now they would fake cough all the time in the homeless shelter. I kept wondering why they were doing that. I was like, why are they doing that? It confused me. I'm like, what's the purpose in doing that? Some of the things I questioned, what was the purpose in doing? But I got it before I knew it was a TI. I got a couple street theater moments that cracked me the fuck up. And I guess it was supposed to make me paranoid, but I laughed instead.
I find myself doing this sometime when I see that they're going out their way to make themselves notice to just me. Like I said, with the whole revving of the engine. So if I was to go to Wawa's right now, and say for instance, Wawa got 10 pumps, and I pop that pump number 4 and that pump number 6. When I go in the store and I'm coming out, they never got out their car. But as I'm walking to their car, you'll just hear the engine go. And then when I look at them, they pull off. The shit is weird. The psychological aspect of this whole program is weird, bro. These people they literally go out their way to make sure that you know that they are there, though. It's crazy. It's crazy. So any advice you want to give any targeted individuals out there?
Yeah, I mean, I want them to stay safe and really you need to learn is perp tactics. So so that you can stay safe. If you're a new TI, be safe, learn tactics so they don't come after you. Because my targeting is a lot about baiting me in and trying to set me up to go to prison. I have found drugs all over my purse before I went to court. And thank God something told me to look inside my purse, and there was tons of drugs in there. So they tried to set me up. I would have been in prison for a long time if I didn't find that setup, you know? These are the things that, you know, you need to keep yourself safe if you want to stay out of the mental hospital or keep your sanity or keep out of jail. Don't let nobody take your sanity ever again.
Yeah, I don't even let nobody question mine, like, because I know that I got a great grip on reality. I always been sharp. I always had plenty book sense, street sense, and I'm aware of what's going on. I could distinguish fact from fiction. I know what's real, what's fake. I know what reality is. So it's like, like I said, you would be amazed that I only been a targeted individual for 8 months. I know the police department that put me in it, the officer who put me in it, the day I got put in it, the things that happened afterwards, me calling the turn of affairs, me pulling up at the corner store, jumping out on the side and letting him know that, tell your police officer stop following me. Like I said, they let it be known. Once I realized that I was getting followed, it got real crazy.
Tone, that's probably why your targeting got worse too, is because the more you know about your targeting, the worse it does get for a targeted individual, the more they find out about shit.
Yeah.
Mine did get worse because of that.
Look, once I figured out this and I started paying attention and doing research and questioning every abnormal person who come in my life and just randomly speaking and sparking up conversations, once I caught on to what telecommunication company was involved in my targeting, that was the first time they tried to force me to have a heart attack. But it just kept me motivated on to try to get down to the bottom of why this is going on, who's responsible, what companies involved. I only been a targeted individual for 8 months and they tried to kill me with forced heart attack 4 times already. 4 times. I became a targeted individual at the end of February, beginning of March. My last parking ticket was the ticket that got me put in the program after it was this one main officer who I was beefing with in the local police department in the county that I stay in. And when I saw him watching me for an hour outside my apartment complex, then I went to go get in my car. Before I pull off, it took me like 15 minutes, and I see he's still watching there. The minute he saw me go in reverse, he turned this car around so he could instantly jump behind me when I turn out. So I already knew, because like I said, I was selling weed in my community at the time though, so I'm already watching my surroundings and watching out for the police, because it's natural when you're in the streets though. So I see him watching me and I'm just thinking like, well, he gonna pull me, and he don't know I even got my license. So boom,
I got pretty good street smarts too.
right on cue. As soon as I leave the apartment complex,
I had to fuck a few corpses up.
But look, right on cue, as soon as I leave the apartments, he jumped right behind me and pulled me and said that I did a involuntary lane switch or some shit like that. So he put me in the store, and lo and behold, the officer who I originally had my beef with in that police department was the backup that he called on scene. So when this certain officer I'm beefing with shows up on scene, he walks to the car smiling, and you know, I'm so arrogant in my ways in the streets, making money, doing what I do and stuff though. So I'm thinking that they don't know that I have a license. So when he pulled up to the window and asked me for my license, I'm talking mad shit reaching for my license. Yeah. Boom, slam my license on the dashboard. He grabbed the dashboard. He grabbed it off the dashboard. Then, you know, after time for him harassing me, his partner who pulled me over found me, come back to the car, and I say, specifically, like I told y'all, I ain't gonna never let y'all get me in another uncompromised position. He handed me my license back and said, don't worry, I got everything I need to know. So from that day forward, I started getting followed by Henrico Police Department cars. That led me to pull up on one of the sergeants around the neighborhood and the community and tell him to stop letting tell your police officers to stop following me, this, that, and the third or whatever or whatnot. So the same officers right there with him, me and him exchange our words. Right after that, when I said it became overt, oh my God, they put microphones in the smoke detector. They put poison, and heavy metal poison in the coffee table leg. Then when I discovered what was going on, I started buying my radio frequency detectors, my bug sweepers and things like that, my EMF meter and things like that. Started doing the research and stuff. That's when they tried to force me to have my first heart attack. And the person who was involved, who they call quote unquote handlers in our situation, when I ran outside my apartment while holding my heart, because I knew if I would have stayed in the apartment 5-6 seconds longer, I would have been dead. Because I knew that I caught on to what they was doing, filling up the apartment with EMF, this, that, and the third, and I knew that they had my phones hacked. So once they saw that I put 2 and 2 together on my phone, boom, they started attacking me crazy. I runs outside, and the same guy who I expect being involved in this is right there in front of my hallway, and he looking at me, and I'm looking at him. He put his head down with the mask, and he pull off. He murk off. He's not in the pocket spot or nothing. He's just like Pac, like he's ready to pull off, and he's looking right in my hallway. I come running from the stairs, we lock eyes, and he throw his head down with the mask on because of this COVID shit, and he murk off. I knock on the next door neighbor house, ask them to use the phone because they just drained my battery there. It was chaotic. It was chaotic, but like I said, it is chaotic. Like I said, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. I would rather just.
I'm forced into homelessness over this.
They take advantage of the homeless. They take advantage of the homeless, of the Vietnam vets that fought for the country, and they take advantage of the mentally ill, the people who's really mentally ill in the psych ward already. All they do is experiment on all these people, bro, and it's sad that people are still asleep to. Or
yeah, but they forced me into homelessness.
That's the part of the program.
I was forced into it as a kid.
Yeah, that's a part of the program. A part of the program. First, what they want to do in the program is get you admitted.
That's where I've been.
Huh? Those are the 3 key steps into this program to force you into a mental hospital so you get diagnosed. And
I was admitted.
And then it's force you into homelessness, and then it's watch you die slow on the streets. This program is pure evil, and it needs to be shut down. They have little to no oversight. The fusion centers, the NSA, the DHS, they have no oversight. How could you get these people, bring me that dude, bring it to me. How could you get these people this much power with no oversight? So there's no one there to say, y'all fucking up. Y'all shouldn't be doing that. That's against the law. A judge had to tell them this in court. Like you said, September of last year, 2019, that y'all was breaking so many laws, and this shit is unconstitutional. Even with the judge saying that, nobody in the government or the FBI or the CIA or the NSA went to jail. All they did was repackage the program, put it under something else, and continue with the torture. That's what I wanted. I wanted to give you a chance to get your story out here and state your name again for the record. Can you hear me? They messing with the live. Mic check, mic check.
You're welcome. Oh, Sharita Raymond.
Okay. And you're a targeted individual?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, you're a targeted individual. And what state?
I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico at the moment.
Okay. Any last words you want to say to the people before we get your story out here?
No, just say I love TIs. They're the best people on earth. Love you guys.
Let's go. Love you too. Tell Wayne I said hey, and you too be safe. God peace.
Okay. Bye.
Okay.
What was that?
I was trying to beat him, dude.